Greetings everyone, Joseph James here once again with your nightly newsletter brought to you by theschooloftrade.com. Today was November 10th, 2009. Of course, tomorrow being a federal holiday here in the U.S., we'll talk about our holiday hours a little bit later on in this presentation. I want to remind you guys, check out our free resource online. If you're not using our YouTube page, guys, you're really missing out. Had another wonderful day in the market, guys. 72 ticks across the board. Boy, brings our weekly total to 960, monthly total just about 3,100 USD. And it's kicking that average up to $437 here every single day. Some of these 7 deadly mistakes we make as traders. Right? One of the most deadly things we can do as a trader is to lose control of our emotions. Well, what are some ways that we can, of course, gain that control back? Well, it all starts with the Discipline Cycle Workshop. Understanding how the emotional response is to your trading, understanding how to plan for that emotional response, and what to expect as you grow as a consistent trader. We do a free webinar on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we oftentimes talk about the Discipline Cycle Workshop. This workshop, of course, defines the evolutionary growth of a trader. So it's going to define for you what to expect to controlling your emotions. Some of the biggest benefits, though, will come from a mechanical set of rules. We follow our rules, not our gut instinct. Whenever my gut tells me to do something, I then check with my rules. If my rules confirm it, then I'll go forward to taking a trade. You also want to have management rules, right? Not just set of entry rules or exit rules, but what to do when something goes wrong. What to do if we're seeing signs the market is continuing at this trend and we may want to keep the trade on the table. So know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Know when to, of course, cut your winners early. Know when to take profit early. Know when to eliminate risk early. This, of course, all comes with trade management rules. And trade management rules, again, will remove the emotions with your trading. So rather than having to rely on your emotions to decide whether or not you should be taking profit early, follow your rules because your rules are based on statistical probabilities over a long-term sample of trades, whereas your emotions are just based upon what's going on in your mind at that time. Intimate knowledge of market participants, watching every single day in our trade room, looking for price patterns, reading the ticker tape, using your pace of the tape indicator, reading volume patterns. All of these things, when done with consistency every single day, will develop that intimate knowledge of market participants. Controlling your emotions, guys, if you haven't realized already, is essential to long-term profitability. Anybody can make money, but it's keeping the money that's the problem. Stop giving that money away every day by following your rules, controlling your emotions. Now, in my opinion, guys, the easiest way to control your emotions is with confidence. The easiest way to build confidence is with consistency. And of course, the easiest way to build consistency is simply follow your trading rules. Now, of course, guys, we took 74, 72 ticks out of the market today. What a wonderful day in the market, guys. We were expecting to see a very quiet day today, so it was obviously a good thing that we saw some good volume, we saw some decent moves, and we were able to capitalize on them when those moves ended up qualifiable according to our rules. The first trade today, guys, was just off the high of the day here on gold. Now, this is a pre-market trade, so 8:30 before 9:30, of course. We're happy to see new trade setups before 9:30. While we're usually getting prepared for the day, we'd love to be able to pad our pocket with some pre-market setups here on the gold at 8:30 here. This was a 2-step short. Now, I was talking about this with our members in the group this morning about how whenever we see the high of the day here, okay, you'll notice, guys, that here on your charts, right, we have the high of the day here. Okay, so up here, right, up here we've got some overhead resistance, right? That's going to be your high of the day, marked by this blue line here. See this checkered blue line there, right? That's going to be my high of the day. A very high profile level of overhead resistance. Now, guys, when we have our short-term trend being up, right? Short-term trend is up. There's no doubt in our minds there. We see the high of the day. I'm looking for what? I'm looking for strong green pace of the tape bars to take that trade through the high of the day. Now, we didn't see that here, so we initially, of course, then looked for a 2-step pattern. Now, guys, I was saying earlier in the room this morning that whenever I see the high of the day, I'm always looking for a 2-step short. Whenever I see the low of the day, I'm always looking for a 2-step long. So a 2-step pattern, right here, 8:30, this was a counter trend pattern. Of course, short-term trend was up. As you can see, guys, it bounced off of, right, tried to break through this overhead resistance here, guys, in the form of the high of the day level. We then marked up our swing low right here, right? There's your swing low level. This, of course, at about 3.5, 3.6, right, for your swing low. And then, of course, once we broke below that swing low, headed back here down against the short-term trend, all we had to do is clear that trigger line there. Everything else lined up. Entry there, 3.2. We took the first target of 4 ticks, second target of 8 ticks, and then trailed our stop for 8 more ticks, locking in 24 ticks on gold or $240 there. As you can see, A 4-contract account, guys, all we need is 4 contracts. And of course, at $500 margin per contract, as you can see, guys, that was almost a 5% winner on simply one trade. Let's keep going. So we put 24 ticks in our pocket here on the first trade of the day. Let's keep moving here, guys, on Crude. Now, on Crude here, you can see we had a pretty busy about an hour and a half here on Crude. Things got moving pretty good after the 10 o'clock hour. So, of course, after our first gold trade there, we really didn't have much more time until we, of course, got here until 10 o'clock. So almost an hour and a half later, we began to see Crude start to act up. Now, our first trade here, guys, first trade here up at 10:20, our first trade of the day. Now, at this point, guys, we had just broken above this horizontal red line here. Okay, now that, of course, somewhere right around that 80.27, 80.28 level there on the Crude. Now, once we broke above it, we then marked this swing high at 30. Then, of course, we broke above that swing high at 30 for our breaker long pattern. Now, luckily for us, though, we had plenty of room here until we went into this overhead resistance, right? This is your high of the day here, right? This is your high of day. So, of course, we had to worry about making sure we had enough room there, okay, to get into that trade long without getting caught up in the high of the day there. We were able to. We grabbed our 8 ticks there. Phil was at 80.31, and of course picked up 8 ticks there on the first trade. Second trade now, follow me over, guys. Just about, what is that, 10 minutes later here. 31 minutes past the hour here on Crude. Now, remember, guys, whenever we're looking for a long trend here, keep in mind the 2-step short is always going to be applicable. Now, we saw some double tops here, right? Lower highs on these double tops. We, of course, had this horizontal level here, this red line here. That was at 44, 45. We then broke below to mark this swing low here at 42. And then, of course, as price broke below 42, that swing low, we got our entry there at 40 even. We took 4 ticks, got scratched out at our point of entry. As you can see, it then kind of came right back up to our point of entry there, bounced us out, 80 ticks there of profit, and we'll keep moving. Next trade and final trade here on Crude was only a couple moments later, 10:38 later, right, about 7 minutes later on the Crude here. This was, of course, now going with the trend. Okay, notice how, guys, we took a breaker pattern first. That was with the trend. Then we took a 2-step short counter trend. Now we're going to, of course, sell this thing all the way down. Guys, there's really no better way to trade these markets, right? Buy, of course, with the trend up. Sell the reversals going back down, and then be on the short side, right, continuing to pound this thing to the downside. As we broke below this red line here, right, broke below this red line, of course, it's a major level of support in this case, just below that 28. We, of course, made a swing low there at 24, right there. We broke below that 24, of course, for your entry there at 22. On this breaker, another 8 ticks there on Crude. So tally them all up, 8 for the first one, 8 for the second, 8 for the third, 816. There's 24 ticks total. Right, $240 there, guys, on Crude in a matter of a half an hour. Let's keep moving. Last trade of the day, guys. Last trade of the day was on the gold futures. Gold futures. Now, of course, we started the day on gold. One of our favorite markets to trade is by far the gold market. And, of course, another example, guys, of where we had the short-term trend being up. We look for exhaustion patterns, whether it be a head and shoulders pattern here, double tops, double bottoms. We then wait for price then to test this level of support just above 068. We then, of course, got in at 062 was the swing low. Once we broke below that swing low, we, of course, got filled here 1106 even. We took 4, 8, and 6 for another 24 ticks there, guys. Great example, guys. Another 24 ticks here to finish up the day here on gold. We made 24 the first trade, 24 on the second trade, and, guys, what is that? 48 ticks there on the gold market to finish up a wonderful day in the market. As always, guys, come out and join us tomorrow morning. We'll show you guys how we make all this money live in real time. Grab a copy of the beginner's course on your way into the trade room. Please rate and comment on this video. For lifetime membership information, please direct these questions to sales@schooloftrade.com. My name is Joseph James. Hope the video helps. Don't miss a tick. Bye-bye for now.